Alrighty, what's up guys, Single Player Nacho here, and hubba hubba, what have we here? If it isn't Woon Hack, the Trickster. If looks can kill, and you listen to K-pop, well then Woon Hack is probably up your alley. A very dark and scary alley that smells of cat piss. Now, attractiveness is subjective, but objectively, Woon Hack is pretty damn attractive. And it's just hilarious to me that the very first sort of attractive looks that kill killer in Dead by Daylight is a boy band person. And I already see the amount of cringiness that this is gonna generate. Are you in your online class, daughter?
Me and who?
Yeah, that sort of stuff's gonna happen. And the overall sentiment that the Trickster gives me, and I believe it's gonna give everyone else. You have this attractive face, a body sculpted by the Roman gods, I guess. Now, why do you have to go out and kill people and be psychotic? Well, that's really funny, because we ask that of almost every sort of, it really turns my stomach saying this, but attractive, quote-unquote, serial killer out there that has a fandom. I think this is the actual inspiration that the Trickster draws, and what the developers were going for. He's the boy next door and you want to trust him? Next thing you know, you have a knife at your throat. It's also a very cultural statement. You know, with all this social media stuff, I sound like a grandpa, but the Trickster encapsulates this culture of standing, following attractive people to your very tombstone. And that is aligned with obsession, which Woon's story is very much filled with. At a very young age, Woon was completely obsessed with attention. He wanted eyes on him at all times. Welcome to stream. Well, he should have just been a streamer. I think that would have saved a bunch of people's lives. But you got this little kid and he's doing tricks and flips at his father's restaurant. And the audience was very much interested in this little kid's talents. Everyone that visited was under the impression that this was customary in South Korea. But what wasn't customary was the fact that Woon, as a little kid, was very talented at throwing knives. Very tight precision on that boy's fingers. He's got aimbot. And this talent trickles into his actual gameplay. One of his primary killing talents is throwing those dreaded knives. They look really cool, but not cool when they're stuck to your anus. Okay, so throwing knives, maybe you're not gonna get too far in life with that. So what does Woon Hack do? As a little boy, he notices that it's not enough, but his father also notices that it's not enough. And his father spends all of the earnings on dancing and singing lessons for Woon. So we have an outside source pushing this already kind of weird attention-seeking behavior forward. So it's not just Woon, it's also his father enabling what would become Woon's ascent into madness. And lo and behold, those singing and dancing lessons work. Woon Hack is a natural. His voice unmatched. His dance moves, very dancey, I guess. And showbiz comes calling. Right away, Mighty One Entertainment spots Woon's talents and recruits Woon into a training program. Now, this is where things start to get into very real-life problems. The Trickster is only a teenager at this point. For 14 hours a day, was trained to oblivion. This caused major exhaustion and overall insanity. You know, you have this developing mind. Woon is still learning about the world, and this Mighty One Entertainment pushes him to the very brink of his entire stone-chiseled body breaking down. And this is where real life kicks in. There are various videos spotted of actual K-pop stars literally passing out mid-interview or during their dance routines. It's sad, but it's the cost of fame. And this is what I really appreciate about Dead by Daylight's developers, Behavioral Entertainment. This is all very possible and probable. So then boom, fame for Woon. He is selected to become a part of the band No Spin. All capitals. Again, very likely real. And this was the feeling that Woon was searching for. It was a very incorrect feeling because it was obsessive and he just wanted more and more power and attention until it wasn't enough anymore. Oh, but he kept up that smile in the interviews, the fan meetups. He acted very natural, but inside he was dying. not to get out of this newly found fame or the superiority he felt to his other bandmates in No Spin. He just lusted for more. He didn't just want the eyes of people on him, he wanted their actual eyes. You see where I'm going with this? Well, the Trickster was in luck. After a very fatal accident, all of his bandmates were crisped to a flame. A studio fire broke out, and Woon was the only survivor. Now, you feel sad for this guy, don't you? Don't! He could have actually helped them out, but he chose not to, and again, the killer meter started filling up slowly and slowly, and when it filled up after the death of his bandmates, Woon said to himself, oh, this is what I like to do. This is what I want. Kill, kill, kill. So if this was something that really happened in real life, all of the No Spin fans, news media outlets, everyone would mourn the band because they just died, but they would also celebrate Woon because he was the only survivor, even though we know he practically killed his bandmates. All of his little stands become very sad for Woon. He is elevated as this hero figure, and Woon fucking I have to cuss. He loves all of this attention that's going into him. And light bulb moment for the Trickster, he uses this empathy and sympathy that's going towards him as a way to groom victims, and the bloodshed begins. Now that Woon is a single artist, he doesn't have any extra eyes watching over him. He doesn't need them, so he's alone, and he brings over fans, prospective artists, seeking advice. And what does he do to these people? He bashes them over the head with his showstopper. This is again integrated into his gameplay as his stunning weapon. Some people would love getting beaten to shit by this guy. It's not my role to judge, but that's what happens in the game, and that's why it happens in the story. So this is really where it all began for Woon, in a sense where it all ended, because the entity started taking notes. This guy is pretty fucked up. It'd be perfect for our realm's program. And this is where I have a bunch of questions. Where did the entity start to creep its little claws into Woon's psyche? Was it in the form of his father that was enticing the Trickster into seeking out all this fame? Was it in the form of that Mighty One Entertainment that exhausted him to no end? Or was it in the form of fame, the fans, the Instagram likes? Where did the entity get involved? Well, thank you so much for checking out this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to stick around for the full lore backstory on the Trickster. We need a little bit more tomes, some more lore in there for context. So stay subscribed. Don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it, and comment down below what you think of Woon Hack's story so far. I just love how real or probable this seems. It's horrible, of course, but it's up there. Check out the merch and the second channel. Links will be in the description. Any and all help is much appreciated. Again, guys, have an awesome rest of your day, and as always, stay single.